Do we have a deal, Mr. Reagan?
You know, I know this steak doesn't exist. I know that when I put it in my mouth, the Matrix is telling my brain that it is juicy and delicious. After 9 years, you know what I realize? Ignorance is bliss.
Heart pounder, LOL, smelling like salmon, feathery broadcast headers, dressed to the nines like a target, dressed like a bullseye, but a blind archer, heart of a piranha, swimming with a bloodshot water, lark in the darkness, watching. I got this boombox burner boy, hot shit. Burn like an LA sunset, colorful, toxic, stuff, deadly and erotic. Walk like a man out of product, run like a strumpet, talk to the hand sock puppet. Look at them sky right, fuck it. We hard nothing, we don't have a tear for your bucket. Life's but a passion, then into the deep shit. Try to pull the curtain back, crack no police whip. Here come the state mom, press a little horse to display them. Cut into my brain like a ray gun. Telling you these fuckers are shameless, so I'm at a Reagan. Look at how they bent to the training. Why would I be hanging? Now when I can chemically hang, glide angle, face stop mangle, anguish. Know that some of our high language. Roll a joint, hit a fire guy till he vanquish. Bonus point, bonus point, bonus point, bonus point, bonus point, bonus point.
You sound like you're drowning.
I get bent, I'm a bender. Future of rhyme, a dominant gene gone batting. Passed along to my bloodstream, pumping madness. For a little hell down hashes. Stay to practice how to detach from a white noise planet. With a dispatch straight from commander. Throw haymaker plus landed. Never take a win for granted. Remember the pitch that I sang with to annoy masses. Before max grades, hats like magic. Everybody bow to the bastards. Anthem master, the facts get rancid. Back to the matter, my craft, a track hapless. Living a mirage is hard and I crack it. What's that passing? Wanna watch, I'm a smoke till I'm fashion. Choke like a champion. 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 Champion.
Like I've been thrown now. I sound like I'm drowning. Get down, stay down. Like I've been thrown
You lonely souls. God knows you lonely souls. God knows you lonely souls. Yeah, yeah. I believe there's a time and a place to let your mind drift and get out of this place. I believe there's a day and a place that we will go to, and I know you wanna share. There's no secret to living secret to live. Just keep on walking. There's no secret to dying. Just keep on flying. I'm gonna die in a place that don't know my name.
Yo, what up YouTube? What up, what up, what up? Hang on. Right now I'm going for a walk, and the street I'm walking on is about to pick up with a ton of undercarriage traffic. Like, it's literally just now turned to a freeway. All these cars that you hear, this road was empty. They're all ghosts. Hang on a second. Okay, this one's going slow. Okay, you listen. None of these cars were here on this road when I first started. The road was empty. Now, when I start talking and you start and you're conscious, these individuals, I don't think that they actually are conscious. Hang on. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that, but I'm saying, like, traffic. Hang on. Here comes another one. And sometimes, at times, like this car, I don't know, it might not be the same car, but a lot of times, sometimes they just U-turn and just drive up and down the roads the entire time. And this is definitely, listen to this. Listen to this shit. Listen to all this shit. I wish I could take a picture. You know those side streets that, like, I can walk, it's about a 2-mile stretch, okay? On this road, when I walk down it, when I used to walk down it, when I first moved here, dude, I could walk the entire path, and I was thinking to myself, if something fucking happens to me out here, I'm fucked, okay? The chances of me seeing a vehicle for the next 2 miles, you know what I'm saying, is not gonna happen, okay? As in, on this 2-mile stretch of road, you don't see any cars. You understand what I'm saying? All of a sudden, people start manifesting in the neighborhood. They didn't even move into the house. The house oftentimes ain't up for sale, and I got new neighbors. You hear all this? It's exceedingly supernatural. This is what I want to point out to you. This road I'm on is not traveled. It's only like little neighborhoods around here of retirees. And nobody comes up and down this road. Because on the main road, there's so much access to places like Quick Trip and things of this nature. So it's 2 miles to a main road where you have a gas station. You have freeway entrances that are more closer to any of the places that people would go to. So this is a specific road for kind of specific neighborhoods, and now we have highway traffic basically on this road, damn near. You know what I'm saying? When I walk up and down the road, not during any other time. So these cars, like, you know how cars take a while to get to a place? Let's say you got a long road, you could see cars coming up to you in the distance. And this road, even though you could do that, what I'm telling you is the roads will be completely empty. You can't see anyone up and down the roads, and then all of a sudden you hear cars coming from behind you. You turn back and it's like a string of cars. Look at all this. This is impossible. You see a string of cars, and then you turn and you look in front of you, and then all of a sudden you got a string of cars and cars coming out of the woodworks, and you know these people don't get out of their house. And even though there was houses, it was not that many people living over here. You understand what I'm saying? So this is a ghost town. You know what I'm saying? If you ever watch, they had a TV show, I think it was called Yosemite. In the second season of Yosemite, they were talking about ghost ships because there was some characters out at sea. You know, this is a busy road now. It was empty when I got on here. And they talk about ghost ships. So they're out at sea, and then all of a sudden what happens is they end up shipwrecked. All right, it's this dude and his girlfriend, right? They end up shipwrecked because they all fell asleep. Well, the sea captain died. He had a heart attack or whatever at the wheel while they were sleeping. Him and his girlfriend. Dude, do you hear how loud the undercarriage of these cars are? Like it's insane. Let me tell you, the speed limit on this road is like 40. Okay, and it's like I'm off over on the sidewalk, and it's unbelievable. My hearing didn't used to be this exquisite. Now I can hear. Listen how loud these cars are so loud. You know, when a car swooshed by you back in the day, it wasn't that loud. And when I say they drive up and down these roads, I mean the speed limit is only 40. You understand what I'm saying? And when it just passes on, it's so loud, it's like. And I get back and I hear all this air, you know what I'm saying, on what I recorded. I'm like, holy shit. You know, principality of the air for real. You know what I'm saying? It's these cars. They sound like fucking UFOs passing by, dude. Look, it's a string. It's another string of cars. This dimension. Hang on. This dimension is not for thinking. Remember I told you people were brain dead? Now imagine if you had Spider-Man, you get spider senses and he gets the tingles, those little electrical bolts happen around his head. Imagine if you're in a maggot tray full of maggots. Hang on. Thirsty fucks. Imagine you're in a maggot tray full of other maggots, but let's say you have spider senses and shit. So let's say you start your mind starts tingling. It's unbelievable. Let's say your mind starts tingling, and then all of a sudden, like, people come out of dimensions, and you'll get walkers. They're basically hookers that live in the suburbs that also keeps tab on because they do all sorts of drug trade and prostitution out here on the low. Okay, it's no different than in the inner city. They just more, you know what I'm saying, secretive about it. Like this entire duration, you know, I probably walked 0.2 of a mile, and this is one of the busiest times I've ever seen this road. But let's say your brain waves go off, and when your brain waves go off, you wake up the other maggots. The other maggots start acting more lively. Now tell me how this is any different than humanity. This is what happens on these roads. And so I feel like, in comparison to like when I was in the 90s, not only was my hearing this good, as in I can hear very loudly. It sounds like I'm in a movie theater when a car passes me. Like it's perfectly digitized sound effects of a car whooshing instead of hearing the actual sound of the air, you know, beneath the car. You know, these cars sound as loud as cars that would be on a freeway, and you could just say that this is a long side street. You understand? It doesn't necessarily connect to anything. It's like one of these roads they built to connect two parts of a town. All right, it's got little neighborhoods and shit, but that's what it's like. This is what I want to tell you. Going back to the show, I'm sorry. This is why it's hard, and they say I got ADD and shit. This is the situation, man. On that movie, when they wake up, when the dude wakes up and he realizes that the dude is dead, he wakes up and he looks outside. He sees the ship appear out of the fog, out of nowhere, and immediate distance. Like it's pretty much indefinite that this huge, fishing boat or cargo boat is going to completely run over the little tugboat that they're in, right? So he runs upstairs to where the captain is at, because the captain is the one who originally told them about ghost ships and that they always have to be on the watch for ghost ships. Other than that, driving the boat is relatively easy and they'll go in ships, okay? And it's the same cars. It's the same cars and the same people who do all the driving. So, like a prostitute walks up and down the street, these people just drive all day and they're not Ubers, man. You understand what I'm saying? These type of cars, they're not Ubers. These are individuals that would seem like they would be in corporate America. You know what I'm saying? Agent Smiths. These cars appear out of portals. I literally see them appear out of portals. And I can tell that the entities are unconscious for the most part. And you hear that? They're starting to accelerate because they can't handle my energy. Here they are. They're just spilling out like you wouldn't believe. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to work through this. All right. Agent Smiths, man, you are being watched, I think, by this system or this electromagnetic grid or this cube that we're inside of. And there's varying degrees of that. And the further you get on the outskirts, people are brain dead. And what I mean by brain dead, I mean they're spiritually dead. Their brain works, I should say their mind doesn't, okay? The scales that weigh the morals and things of this nature, they're spiritually dead. That's how it would appear, because all of their reactions to you and your environments are completely autonomous for the most part, okay? Like if you had a human being that was a zombie, they're still in a living body and everything like that, but they're just auto response machines, okay? Little cash registers, all right? And generally, this is what I mean about the brain. This is how individuals think pertaining to knowledge, and you can have enough knowledge to support yourself or do a handstand, but it's not the same as being able to walk and knowing yourself, okay? But pertaining to when people talk about frequency or having like conscious energy, so on and so forth, when I hear this online, this is where these things are very valid. It's never like at this time, this is top tier paranormal phenomena for this time on this at this time. I would say it would trump the times that I've seen the road busier during rush hour. This is not as busy as rush hour, but it would be this is not as busy as rush hour, but let's say honestly, it's about as busy as rush hour. Let me just put it like that. All right, but this is early in the morning. Okay, so here's the thing, man. Look, and it's just bands of cars. It's never been made so that it's been impossible for me to do a podcast. I'm just going to talk over them because I don't want to be socially conditioned or otherwise. The machine, the Matrix, will keep doing this shit to niggas that's Neo. Now, if you're a Neoite, you know what I'm saying, a free thinker who has the Holy Spirit, you know what I'm saying, your brainwaves are going to be stronger than the others around you. This is in theory, right? Because other people are relegated to systematic diagnostic thinking, no different than a machine or a computer, okay? They don't pay attention to their emotions. They don't pay attention to their surroundings. They don't have awareness. They just exist. And wherever there is energy, considering the fact that we are born or considered to be born dead, this is top. This is done. I broke this planet. That's what it means. When it's like this, it means the people, you surpass People exist on different layers of reality, all right? And the more substance that you have as an individual, people will correlate this, I assume, with ascension and Eastern mysticisms. But this thing, I don't... Look, man, this guy was about to turn up a road and totally just decide to... This is how I know they don't think, man. I'm sorry, this is gonna be broken. You just have to do the best you can. This is how I know they don't think, bro. The common consensus, except for you, until you find one, you gotta work from yourself out, all right? You have to assume everybody is fucking brain dead, all right? Which they are, all right? Christian or not. Because Christians need to know how to exercise, their faith. Okay, there's an active difference. I'm a C student. I'm the kid that God would probably put up as an example. You're without excuse because this guy fucks up everything, right? He wouldn't say that, but like, if I want to give you the genuine story of all these circumstances and situations, I would look like the fuck up. Okay. But the fact of the matter is I have ADD, like I said, because all of this paranormal phenomena that surrounds me. And what I've noticed is the individual who has a mass amount of energy, when you talk about celestial bodies or you having a spiritual body, so on and so forth, and attributes of character, when you take somebody like Tupac, you know what I'm saying, and you put him in a board meeting for the symphony, right? Because of how much life he has in him, he wakes the entire environment around him. He's the life of the room. So if you don't have life, and then God is complete light and there's no darkness, right? We all would be as succubi in comparison to the sun, would we not? We would all be as leeches, or we could be fish and learn. Okay? So when we talk about the connotation of the moon and the moon being lawless, we're talking about the natural estate of a man, all right, is as a suckling. That's what it says in scripture. But a suckling can either be a babe or it could be a leech, all right? What's up, buddy? You see the dogs and everything come out. And I love dogs, but it's just like on this particular one, you guys, this is insane amount of activity. Okay? When you walk or you go into an environment or take Tupac in that symphony situation, not that it's necessarily so, but when you have like a screaming nerve like that, you got heavy metal ass energy. Okay? When you have that warlike energy, because it's life and life is living, it's like a screaming nerve, it's active, it's forceful. Okay? You walk into a room, you know what I'm saying? You can have a million gangsters, right? And all of these gangsters could be cool as fuck, right? But that's their energy is going to be different, okay? You could see someone who could by their frequency change the nature of an environment or a place or even the world possibly. When they walk into a room and they dominate without saying a word. And what I mean by that is they're not out for physical domination. They're not trying to be quote unquote alpha or anything like that. It's just that the spirit of life, okay, is on them so heavy that it aggregates or it rouses the zombies that surround this individual. Okay? And when you get attention like that, when you have light like that as a star, you're going to attract all manner of things, good and bad, good and evil. Okay? And you got to be very circumspect on how you conduct yourself. All right? Because generally it's like the attention or the means generally is going to draw towards the center, which will be, you would be the apple of the eye in that moment. Okay? Now, if you have a room full of gangsters, like I said, and they're all cool as fuck, right? And then I take someone like Tupac, I throw someone like Tupac in there who's alive and you know what I'm saying, the energy is radical and shit like that. It's going to aggregate that entire group. They're going to start acting more livelier. They can't do anything about it because it's energy. Okay? Or I take somebody and you put Tupac in there, or you take someone like Sada Baby, and you put Sada Baby in that room full of gangsters. You know, Sada Baby is walking around with a lot of energy. He's got a lot of life. He's very animated. You know what I'm saying? Even when he's chill, you could sit completely still and you end up drawing all this attention. The circumstance and trouble with my life is I didn't want that shit. You understand what I'm saying? Because I felt like it constricted my freedom. Okay, but the Bible says that an individual is, you know, one of the cues that he's nearing the finish of his particular journey, or when he's, or I don't know if it's the finish or the beginning of it rather, is when this individual isn't burdened by the Holy Spirit. Now the Holy Spirit I'm not burdened by, but the amount of traffic and attention it brings to where cars even pull over, you know what I'm saying, is I don't have the temperament for that. You know, you could say I kind of feel like black people feel it's not that we it's not that we're paranoid, but it's just kind of like if you're used to your personal privacy and space, right? And let's say you're a pit bull, you know what I'm saying? And let's say maybe you've been in a few pit bull fights and everything like that, and you just want to be left alone, and then all of a sudden you have all this odd attention placed on you. You know what I'm saying? You have to deal with the effects also of the energies that come with that, meaning how people perceive you, how they look at you, what they think in their head, whether they're looking at you or not. You could feel all these things in your heart. You're not going crazy. Okay, it's not telepathy. It's closer to empathy, but it's like you get an entire file of like, okay, you know what I'm saying. This and you get kind of get a feel of, okay, you know what I'm saying. This person may potentially, you know, feel this way towards me. Why would I pick up this vibe, or why would I think this right now if it's not particular to something that I would exclusively know right now in this moment? This is being aware of your thoughts. Okay. Now, when it says the serpent is the most subtle beast of the field, means serpents have the ability, no different than a spirit box or an AM radio, to be able to pick up on your thoughts or perceive your thoughts and leanings. Okay, this doesn't always necessarily mean telepathy. Okay, but it's like human beings. You know what I'm saying? We can do the same thing, but we have to have a certain level of awareness, don't we? All right. This is some things that after you start experiencing, you can realize, okay, damn, there's a lot of things I forgot. Okay. So if we are born and considered to be born dead, and the Bible says that, also confirms that we are pretty much born until we come into Christ. You know, this electromagnetic spectrum in which you exist, you understand what I'm saying, is as a spirit box. And that spirit box has different frequencies and channels. You know, you say you vibe with somebody, you might be in the same space of mind in which you're on the same radio frequency. When you have the spirit of life, you have a nuance in which, without drugs, without any other reason, you could hang out with a group of people and still be the life of the party, because, you know what I'm saying, you're on everybody's channel. And then when you get into knowledge in particular, it's like, well, I only fuck with this, or I only fuck with this group. Then you start specifying or breaking down the number of people that will find you relatable. And you still have that energy, so you may get adverse reactions, or individuals that may not say something but may think a certain type of way about you. You understand what I'm saying? So generally when people get together, it's like they get together and they for a party, or for, you know, doing some drugs, or for this or for that. And when you just get together as you were as kids, getting together for the sake of enjoying each other's company, you see what I'm saying? Then you're in a situation where, you know what I'm saying, you're on everybody's channel at that point, if you're an individual that could do this thing. Okay? So you can say that you have a broad spectrum. You have a full range of radio, where thoughts are connotated to spirits in scripture, and we call females thoughts that be putting it out there, but teasing. You know what I'm saying? It's a thought that you had. It crossed your mind. You know what I'm saying? You were thinking about it. You know, and so what I'm trying to show you is you have the entire radio spectrum. So individuals don't call human beings a lot of times. He calls them spirits. Okay? And spirits have many spirits according to their thoughts and their actions, of which he's given names in scriptures which pertains to their ways. Okay? And generally a lot of these spirits are hunters. Okay? Everybody's searching for something, right? But there is a certain discipline, I suppose, how a Christian goes about things, right? Where a lot of times we have to go without. But this builds your strength. You know, if you see hunter by hunter, it's they have a training where they gather their energy, and it's called retsu, right? When you have the Holy Spirit, the longer you walk with the Holy Spirit, you grow in the Spirit, you grow in the faith. So that resonance gets stronger, especially you become more potent if you're kept separate from society. You see what I'm saying? If you're confined to your room, or individuals that may have to serve a bid that's generally separated from a great deal of the population that they are used to and may not get along with everybody, would put them in a particular container in which they are isolated. You know, this will generate potency with the individual's energy. So, you know, by the time you go out, you know, no different than Adam, when all the spirits, all the beasts of the field, whatever, start to come out to Adam, and Adam would give them names. Such is the same for you as an individual Christian. All right? And how we walk, we have to conduct ourselves circumspect because of this, because you have to be somewhat of a legionnaire. You have to utilize that spiritual HUD like Iron Man has of the information that you draw in from a room that you enter, because you don't know individuals' intentions. All right? You have to be savvy. You want to pay attention to that information, because you'll be able to utilize that according to wisdom if anything should come up. Okay? So when I leave the house, like, this is unbelievable, the amount of like it surpassed rush hour. Okay? Especially at this time. They never come out like this. Okay? And it's just the fact that where you stand, if you were not to see a physical earth, or if you were just on a grid, and you're kicking thought, and it's conscious, and it's strong, and it's deeper than surface level, and things of this nature, and the things you think about, right? Then it's like you have a Wi-Fi radius. Let's say you emit a signal, you cause ripples in the matrix, no different than a stone in water. Okay? And this aggregates the zombies that are still in spirit, okay, as a zombie, to come out and gather and come around. You know, there's individuals that don't even keep their schedule and do the things that they're going to do unless I get out of the house at a certain time. This is not to say that their life is dependent on me, but what I perceive when I come outside is subjective based upon my awareness. And some would say, no, duh, right? Obviously, if you don't see something, or you're not aware of something, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be one and the same when you're coming outside. How can you say that it wouldn't happen? The reason why I'm saying that is because you could come outside, okay, and that individual that would particularly be going to one place at a specific time, and you know their schedule, okay, and you know for sure they'd be going to a specific place. Now they're leaving the house, or you're frequenting them at a different time of the day, leaving their house. And the reason for that is, in their reality, their normal, more than likely, is completely normal and just the same. Okay? And this means that time being relative and things of this nature. This would connotate, it would seem, that you are traveling through time differently than others around you. No different than maybe if you were a shooting star or a star in space or something like that. Let's say if they travel, let's say, or whatever the case may be, let's say that they have different capacities and rates in which they move, okay? That gives them their placements. So this is such as the same reflection of how you would experience this phenomenon, that when you exit your house, that time crunches, okay, between the relative realities to create a commonality, because the essence of time, you have broke the bounds of the original matrix. In other words, if you're a seed that's planted to the ground, your trunk has broken past the ground. And when it breaks past the ground, what is that going to cause? It's going to cause aggregation and a center point, in which if you have a tarp and people are holding the edges of that tarp, and I pull down the middle of that tarp and you pour water in it from all different sides, naturally it's going to go down towards the bottom, right? Where I'm pulling the tarp down in the middle. This would be no different than a target. You see what I'm saying? And it seems like things kind of collect where you are at. So even if I go to some place where there's not anybody gathered, their peak time, as I frequency and I put that energy there, unbeknownst to the individual that's walking around, the still walker, okay, that which is running them autonomously, okay, which would not be themselves. I don't want to scare you guys, but would be what you guys correlate with the baseline functions of an individual running on autopilot. It would be something that you would connotate with Ray, and that would be the grace that separates you from getting destroyed by the beast or the spirits of the earth, no matter what kind of beast they are, any type of human or any type of spirit, because their connotations, okay, their connotations are coming out to collect some of that life force energy, no different than the moon gathers its light from the sun, okay, in order that they could get their spiritual substance, as is written in scripture and proven by Daniel, when he wouldn't take of the king's table because the meat was sacrificed to gods, that when he ate vegetables and things of this nature, okay, that he ended up looking healthier than the king, and the finest meats and things of this nature that he ate after 10 days and all of his servicemen. You know, he had more vibrant skin, healthier skin, this, that, and the other. So this draws back to the Matrix, where, you know, Morpheus asked Neo, do you think that's air you breathing? Or do you think that X, Y, and Z matter in a place like this? You know what I'm saying? Or when Cyrus is describing the steak, okay? The steak looks real, it feels real, and the descriptions and the psychological knowledge pertaining to what the archetype or the image of the steak represents is more so the intellectual understanding of what a steak tastes like and the attributing phenomenon that deals with it. And this brings you into the high court, considering, you know what I'm saying, the upper room, so to speak, or your mind space, okay? Because now you're objectifying physical reality into archetypes, and what do these images and symbols and timings mean in correlation with my thoughts? You see what I'm saying? So what we need to remember here is that we're having a spiritual experience instead of falling asleep and being so trapped into the physical experience, all right, that we lose sight of many things. It now says targeted individuals being forced to be more in line with solitude. This has caused us to be in a place of constant meditation and reflection pertaining to life and the instances of things that we witness and see around us. Yes? So the fact of the matter is, a lot of these individuals haven't had that opportunity to be removed or separated from society in such a manner where they have been able to wake up out of the stirrup of the mundane. And what does it cause in order for this to happen? A life of instability in most cases that will keep you out of a sleep state and constantly thinking that your routine doesn't become your routine life, and then your life disappears and you're spiritually dead. So this is where you love your enemy, and you have to have mercy and understanding, because we all grow at different times, and these individuals could be sleeping in that moment in time, and they are not really at war, or a conscious war with their you know what I'm saying, physical natures that would defy things such as impulse or obsession and things of this nature. It's not particularly that the individual is trying to be evil, and how does a fish know it's in water unless it's delivered? So therefore, unbeknownst that individuals know that they need to be delivered, unbeknownst to individuals who can see don't know that they're blind, unbeknownst to individuals who know they can hear don't know that they're deaf because they cannot listen. It's different than an individual that goes without, as a Christian individual that says, may pray for God and says, I want this, who would respond no different than the baseline individual who won't value a thing unless he suffers a time of going without that thing. You see what I'm saying? Because an individual who is deaf that regains the ability to be able to hear, how are they going to cherish being able to hear? And how much fuller will their life be? No different than an individual who is blind or an individual who is asleep who comes into conscious awareness. But it's a double-edged sword. There are things that go along with this. And you are going to have many worms come and find you. And when I say worms, this correlates with the spiritual death of a man. Okay? They're the still walkers. Okay? They're going to exacerbate you at every turn, almost as like you're at a fucking high school musical or high school dance where niggas just introduce themselves with a fucking butt grind automatically. We know how we got down in high school, right? Yeah, if you wanted to dance, that was the style of dancing then. And I was a break dancer, and I found it to be a little bit bizarre. But I'm like, why would I fuck this up? You know what I'm saying? You just literally walk up behind a girl. She's, you know what I'm saying? And you start doing the whole grind thing and what have you, so on and so forth. This was common and social during that time. And, you know, it gave us a little bit of edge while at the same time being innocent. This such is the same as the still walkers. Okay? They need that substance, right? And while you're not the source of that substance, if they're cut off from that sustenance, meaning they cut off their oxygen or their breath of life, being that they believe in God, but they don't have an active relationship with the Most High. Okay? Or they don't believe in God, or they believe in possibly something else and don't have the attributes, at least, all right, to facilitate consciousness, okay, which are meta states. Then these individuals would then have to resource their abundance of substance from an individual, okay, an energy, or what we call via Lucian, okay, because they have to get their nutrients. And it's not necessarily that this individual is particularly out to get you, but that spirit which is in them, okay, knows that it needs certain things for this individual to function and operate. And as going back to the story with Daniel pertaining to the feast and the food, was the fact that it's also written somewhere else in scripture that life is not life substance is not gathered from your diet or from the food. Okay, that's in the Bible. It's saying you get your life substance from God. So if you don't have a relationship, let's say if I'm a plant that needs sunlight and I am put in the shade and I never get the sunlight, well, you may water me all the time, but it may not, you know what I'm saying? It may not do anything for me. I would end up dying irregardless. So this would change the nature of an individual's resilience, their health, you know, their eyes, skin, hair, the whole nine. All right, all the way from the inside to the outside, because the spiritual is the meta portion. So if you have a spiritual sickness or if you're cut off from oxygen, you are going to need to gather your oxygen from somewhere else. Fast forward to COVID and the whole I can't breathe situation. And the word able means breath. Okay, so when you deal with a spirit or an individual that come in and you get what do they call it? Flash mobbed everywhere you go. You're getting flash mobbed because generally when you walk outside your house and you're in the city, it's like a big alert. You're just like whoosh, your chakras, if you say Dragon Ball or whatever, so to speak, your Holy Spirit is a blazing fire and it will wake people up. You know, you'll walk past houses, people will look outside, they'll come outside. You know, all of a sudden everybody will start coming outside, walk their dogs at the same time. You walk up to a store and by the time you get to the front door, you gotta wait in line. You got motherfuckers, you know, lined up right behind you. You turn around, you can't move. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, they do things that is unnatural. Like, they're not meaning to offend you, but they have a foreign spirit a lot of times that may not understand something like proximal distancing. Like, okay, don't stand right up on me, because like that's how people die and shit, right? You know what I'm saying? They might not understand that same situation. It's not necessarily always a situation where they're trying to gather energy for you. The ones that do know to gather energy for you, I mean, the fact of the matter is, at least they're conscious of this thing. And for the most part, if you had the ability to do this, right, for the most part, and the person is fine when you walk away, you're not thinking like, okay, like it's not killing them, they're okay, they'll be fine. You see what I'm saying? Because they're going to get more energy or what have you. But this correlates with the flash mobbing and everything like that. And as I've shown you in the exhibit where I referenced Mansa video was that he was around spirits, and that spirit had a tangible physical body. You know, when I talk about females, and I talk about the nuance of the orgasm, not only in the psychological principle, but in the spiritual principle, is it not interesting that, you know, the spirits on the other side, when somebody has an orgasm, they say that they died because you freeze, you consciously stop, and you know what I'm saying? You consciously stop. So when you think of marriages pertaining to death do us part and things of this nature, you see what I'm saying? For that moment in time, you physically die, and that is almost like a folklore or a mythos of, you know, how marriage is death do us part, and how individuals died in the Garden of Eden. They consciously died. What happens when you see a pretty girl? When you see a pretty girl, what happens? It's like that movie Hitch. You can't get your shit right. You lose all your shit. You forget everything that you're gonna say. You can be totally smooth as fuck, and it just doesn't come together because it's like holy shit, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? The shit is so crazy, right? You can't think. It's like it blocks your mind from thinking. No, that's probably what happened to Adam when Eve was like, you know, offering him the fruit. It's like, you know, he probably was like, he started stuttering in the mind, like, he consciously died. He's like, well, you know, yeah, it's a high probability many of us would have went ahead and taken the fruit. Okay, so these are things that God understands, and he warns his people. And I forget where it was. Somebody must have told me, but God warned that, first of all, the devil knows your desires, and he knows, you know, the type of things that you like and you're into. But the second thing is that God, that's the one thing God said to run away from, because what does God know? When it pertains to the female, there's a high probability that you're going to lose in that moment. Okay, there's only so much you're going to be able to hold that off, because I mean, it's like that, like how they are. It's just like he knows what he made, and he knows what he made is good. That's what he's saying. Okay, so the female is a blessing. And I'm gonna walk over here because I'm getting in this area. We don't get walkers now. I got all sorts of people coming outside working, and these people typically wouldn't be outside, but they appear outside. Okay, when you're around here, when you have living the spirit of life, these ghosts appear, and they start doing their regular routine as having a job. It wasn't that they wasn't there. It's just that you didn't see them before because you weren't on that level of reality. Okay. So the higher your frequency, let's say it's like an altitude of what you see, okay, spiritually around you. Okay, so if you're sitting very high on top of a very high thing and you have an aerial view of things, you're going to see more things than if you're lower to the ground. Okay, and I'm sorry I kind of bounce around because I have to juggle if I leave my house many different things, because it's all spiritual phenomena. These people appear, disappear, and reappear. And they come out of portals and all sorts of manner, you know. Let me think about this. Where was I going? The whole topic, because of all of this situation, and the cars are still going. It's insane. So this is what I'm gonna tell you. When you go to a place and you stand outside, okay? When you go to a place and you stand outside, all sorts of the matter is going to come to you. When you go to the store and you get all these awkward conversations and things of this nature, you run into people that you would never run into. You see people around your town that you've never seen before. You know what I'm saying? In places, even when you go to the grocery store, it's like, where did these individuals come from? You know, I try to pay attention to individuals. You got to think, what's their story? Are they a drifter? Where did they come from? You see what I'm saying? Because I be thinking that these entities are ghosts, and I think it's very real when God talks about he has the spirit of life. That's some shit to say. If you really pay attention to it, it means that individual around you is dead. God said, let the dead bury their dead. And they're under mercy and grace, and unbeknownst to themselves, you know what I'm saying? So this is the thing that I tell individuals. be yourself. And this is a common phrase and things of this nature, because the individuals around you are just as strange and bizarre as you, but you're first fruit because they may not have it in them to speak up about it. By you being the first fruit and speaking up about it, you give them an opportunity to breathe or express themselves. Okay? And a lot of these, a lot of what individuals do in society also pertains to the target, which makes it difficult for us to diagnose spiritual things sometimes, is the fact that we were already peculiar. We were already kind of different. You know, we already walked to the beat of our own drum. We had our principles, morals, and things of this nature, right? And it kind of made us different than the rest of society. This is where you get into God talking about individuals that's spiritually dead. They have the potential to grow. Okay? And inside society, individuals are so worried about what the individual next to them is thinking that we start to not be ourselves, do we? Because we say that this thing about myself is not normal, or this thing about myself is odd, and we judge and we critique and we cut ourselves down in order to fit into the category, to fit in with the rest of society. We not only do a disservice to ourselves, but we do a disservice to others around us when we do this thing. That there is a circumference, so to speak. Now we got a worker coming over here. It's fucking insane. This is the circumference of things, is when you trim your personality to be tailored like your social networking profile, or when you go into an interview, then you can never get out of that box, and that box is tailored. And that box has tailored you to fit in within some quasi structure of normal in which you can easily be algorithmized, but you don't want to be too peculiar in which you can stand out. Okay? You want to leave air for you to breathe unless this algorithm or computer system has a profile where if it just sucked in right around where it thinks your profile or your personal being would be, that you have space possibly to some wiggle room to move. Okay? Even then it's going to be, because I'm telling you this, I'm telling you the truth. This system has you pegged. It has you nailed. People really pay attention to what I'm doing. It's like they want to come right over where I'm at. They're no different than an animal. I'm sorry, I hate to be a dick, but this is insane. You should see what the fuck I'm around, dude. It's fucking insane. The individuals that work or individuals that wouldn't seem that dude. I'm just done. Like, they could be working on something totally different, or totally far away from you. And wherever you're standing, they have to do that. Because even though they don't know they're dead, they know. The spirit inside of them knows, can tell. Okay? And you're getting conflicting stories when you come across these individuals, because the forefront individual oftentimes is kind of like, they don't know what's going on. They just, you know what I'm saying? They just brain dead and shit. But then there is an intelligence within that individual that seems to know you in particular, doesn't it? And this is what the Bible speaks of spiritual warfare. Okay? And those spirits that particularly know you, there's a hive or a network of those spirits. All right? The Bible calls these like weeds, or if you've seen the show Weeds, you know, it's a double entendre, not only on society, but also, you know, the type of business that's in different places in society, and what type of company it brings. Okay? So, pertaining to the 6 degrees of separation, even if there's 6 degrees of separation, if you can fit within a certain percentage of even one of those degrees, even if you're peculiar, then I want you need to get a sumo stance and realize it would be particularly difficult to call you crazy if you know yourself well, and if there's a line of rationale which can be explained to an individual. See, I just walked to this road, now 3 cars came out that wouldn't be over here. Like, the environment, when you walk to it, it automatically responds. It's like if somebody had an off switch and the area was turned off, and then all of a sudden when you get into the environment, it turns on. That's your energy. Okay? When Jesus was running around the town, he couldn't get away from people. You know what I'm saying? They were just fucking, it was like a zombie horde. They were obsessed. Okay? He couldn't really get any peace or anything like that, for the most part. Like, it's just insane. or Matrix, when the people start running like turkeys and throwing themselves out the windows towards, Neo and the other individuals. They're literally like that, but it's on, you know what I'm saying? It's on an unconscious level. I wouldn't say that it's subtle, right? It just pertains to awareness, but if you're aware of it, then that brings a different nature to your life, doesn't it? Okay, so a lot of these individuals be feeding off of energy and things of this nature. And a lot of times when you're separated from the hive wants to reconnect you to a certain extent. All right, there's a natural means to this almost. Okay, but you know what I'm saying? Know yourself well, and know that it's the spirit of life, the Holy Spirit that you have in you, which cannot be seen in things of this nature, that oftentimes cause individuals to crowd you. It's like you're in society and have star power. And now you know why celebrities, when they ascend into fame or something like that, they have to separate themselves from the herd. They have to, because they realize it's like a zombie apocalypse. It literally feels like that. Okay? Not really, it feels like that. That's how it is. Zombie movies were made before any zombie exists, relative to derive from basic human nature. Okay? Without the Holy Spirit, we are nothing but a digestive system. Okay? We're just God's a consuming fire, you're a consuming fire. You know what I'm saying? Without the spirit of life. They're saying all sorts of ghosts is coming out. Let me cross this street. Now, when I cross the street, I gotta tell you, it causes, every time I want to cross from one side of the street to the other, a car has to come. Like right now, it's a bus. This bus would not be here. It's literally like a echo chamber in which, a long time ago, my homeboy Cameron told me a story about a monk. And this monk, he would meditate a lot. Okay, but his sensei would keep distracting him from his meditation periodically. And the reason why the sensei told him that he kept distracting him is because he felt that the student was in such meditation and so separated in his meditation that he didn't want his student to detract from his entire life by being so deep in meditation that he's completely separate from his experience of life. And this seems like such the same of all the times that I am interrupted on my coming and going, and why it doesn't happen to others, because along with meditation, okay, we don't want to be without thought where we could get possessed by another spirit. So these breakings in our meditation, which we hate, because no different than when, I'm trying to think, Samuel, okay, after he passed away, this king called for Samuel's spirit, to come back and talk to him, okay? And when Samuel returned to, when he had this sorcerer call Samuel up, Samuel was pissed because he was in a state of peace, right? And he said, you should. He told the man, you should not have done this. This goes against our code, basically, to call a man after he has passed away and disturb his peace. This is evil, right? And that individual was struck dead. I think it was Saul, the king. He was struck dead by God. Okay. But here in this earth, this type of thing that's happening with us is this system tries to keep you in a state that's not as conscious, because it can't clone you with the spirit of life. I mean, it could clone your body and things like that, but your thinking starts to get so peculiar and abstract, beyond like the hive and everything like that. Then you kind of like exceed the bounds of this particular, your particular, I don't know, I guess you could call it training, because this place here it kicks up. You know what I'm saying? Like there's levels to this thing. Okay, when I talk about that, I'm talking about to this game of life, if you want to call it that, to where it can be so intoxicating and overwhelming, this life, you know, things could get exceedingly more difficult. Okay, but I'm saying for this matter of means that I've experienced here and what I have, you know what I'm saying? You get outside of, let's just say, the algorithm for the container that you're in, or the reality that you're in that pertains to this world. Because I believe that people exist in different containers or rooms that have different realities that share a world. Okay, look at all the TV shows and inspiration from these TV shows. Where these ideas and thoughts come from? There has to be something relative or some experience. Okay, so you have movies that are based on true stories, and then you have movies that's based upon perceptions or summaries of how an individual may see a particular thing, and even more so a case study from some type of oversight. You know, movies do much in terms of understanding individuals psychologically around you. Now this guy's cutting grass just in this. This doesn't happen. You understand the baseline characteristics of individuals, or how an individual would typically respond to certain stimuli. And this is very useful pertaining to things such as negotiation or litigation or conversation, every nature of the sort, to understand the baseline response of an individual, to be able to detect if somebody is lying or deceiving as well. Okay? But anyways, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go. This guy brought the lawnmower right over to me. Like I said, zombies, they're insects. And if you wake them out of the sleep to call them a roly-poly, they'll never know what you're talking about, no matter how much you explain it to them, right? Because their level of awareness is not so that they can see the things you can see. And it gets difficult, but you just gotta hang on and try not to fuck somebody up, man. Because when you're getting stung by the horde, or by all the bees in the hive, it's very difficult to keep your composure. You understand what I'm saying? So I say this with love, you guys. Peace and blessings be with you all, and I will talk to you guys in a bit when I get away. I'll probably wait till I get back home, because this is the busiest Wednesday morning ever, especially in this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's kind of on the skirts, this area. All right, it's pretty crazy that it's this busy. But I say this with love, man. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out.
God knows your lonely souls. God knows your lonely souls. God knows your lonely souls. Yeah, yeah. I believe there's a time and a place to let your mind drift and get out of this place. I believe there's a day and a place that we will go to, and I know you wanna share. There's no secret to living. Just keep on walking. There's no secret to dying. Just keep on flying. I'm gonna die in a place that don't know my name. I'm gonna die in a space that don't hold my name. So
want you to do.
I want this man as much as Greasy does.
He'll deliver more justice in a weekend than 10 years of your courts and tribunals. Just stay out of his way.
I plan to. I will even help him if I can. But I'd like to understand him. Give me that.
Peter Ramos. It's a number to you, you know. One more dead, but a number.
What was she to Crazy then?
She showed him it was all right to live again.
And the kidnappers who took that away, huh?
And they're gonna wish they never touched a hair on her head. You know. A man can be an artist. And anything, food, whatever. It depends on how good he is at it. Creasy's art is death. He's about to paint his masterpiece. I don't have anything else to say.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
I was...
Look again. Who's it?
This isn't the Matrix.
No. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you are one of them.
What are they?
Sentient programs. They can move in and out of any software still hardwired to their system. That means that anyone we haven't unplugged is potentially an agent. Inside the Matrix, they are everyone, and they are no one. We have survived by hiding from them, by running from them. But they are the gatekeepers. They are guarding all the doors, they are holding all the keys, which means that sooner or later, someone is going to have to fight them.
Someone.
I won't lie to you, Neo. Every single man or woman who has stood their ground, everyone who has fought an agent has died. But where they have failed, you will succeed.
Why?
I've seen an agent punch through a concrete wall. Men have emptied entire clips at them and hit nothing but air. Yet their strength and their speed are still based in a world that is built on rules. Because of that, they will never be as strong or as fast as you can be.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?
No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
Thank you.
Picture this, I'm a bag of dicks, put me to your lips. I am sick, I will punch a baby bear in his shit. Give me lip, I'ma send you to the yard. Get a stick, make a switch. I can end the conversation real quick. I am crack, I ain't lying. Kick a lion in his crack, I'm the shit. I will fall off in your crib, take a shit. Hit your mama on the booty, kick your dog, fuck your bitch. That boy dressed up like he Santa and took nobody get choked. Top billing, come cops and villainous shots is block shipped out and bought and y'all feeling it. LP killing it, killer Mike killing shit. What more can I say? We top billing it, valiant without villain it, vicious and found victory. Burn towns and villages, burning, looting and pillaging. Murderers try to hurt us, we curse them and all their children. I just want the bread and bologna bundles to tuck away. I don't work for free, I ain't barely giving a fuck away. So tell Big and Johnny and Mommy to get the fuck away. Yo, here's a gun, son, now run, get it the gut away. Live to shoot another day.
Yo, what up, YouTube? What up, what up, what up? Now, in this segment, I'm gonna talk about offices a little bit, and I'm gonna talk about human baseline nature. One thing I want to bring up is the fact that of the things that I have been talented in life, my talents are not the same as my gifts. Okay. And I asked the Lord for communication, and I wanted precision with it. I wanted spiritual communication. I wanted precision. Okay. And the thing is I've been good at dancing and some other things. I used to be into breakdancing and things of this nature. And the thing is like With breakdancing, you practice. But with the gift that you get from God, it is as in you grow into being as a savant. Somehow, naturally, the circumstances or occurrences of your life is kind of destabilized to a degree in which it would connotate or create you as a different type of creature or a different type of beast. You see. Take for instance, when it comes to superhumans and superhuman abilities and feats, okay, I could be talented at fighting, okay, but I may have a gift or a knack for fighting or war even is a gift. The fact of the matter is like, now I could practice fighting, and I could practice fighting all my life, but it may not be the same as someone who practiced fighting all their life, not to become a fighter, but maybe had an abusive or an alcoholic father that would beat them and their family their entire life. Now, as traumatic as that is, this may develop into an individual that is as a Michael Jackson of fighters, because, you know, this individual is gifted around harsh, circumstances and environments in which they had to utilize these particular gifts for real world dynamics. You see what I'm saying? Where the wager may not be something to do with money, but may have to do with life or well-being, and also real wagers and bets pertaining to how am I going to eat today if I get into this altercation and maybe I get the upper hand on my father. Knowing that in most cases they're going to lose, this is going to build them from their intrinsic factors or their meta states, such as a certain type of harshness or internal toughness to their character. If you're a little kid and you have to fight a titan such as an adult, okay, that has, this liquid, you know what I'm saying, a steroid or courage inside of them, right? And you just, you know what I'm saying, you're a kid fresh off of juice and Lunchables, trying to defend your family. You're going to have a different je ne sais quoi, let's say, to how you approach or engage a certain confrontation than an individual that may be a honed and even well-trained fighter. Now, if both of these individuals were trained and the individual also had to come up through a jacked up circumstance, you see what I'm saying, then this individual is going to have, in most cases, a certain type of build to their character for the most intrinsic parts based upon necessity. You see what I'm saying? I can be a great swimmer, okay, and I could be a talented swimmer. I even did swim team when I was young, and if I continued that, I could have practiced all my life. But Michael Phelps has a gift. You see what I'm saying? Just because Michael Phelps is a creature. I can be a great swimmer, but I can't be a shark or a whale. Okay? That by the time Michael Phelps hits the water, the entire nature of his being, from internal to external, he becomes a different creature, a different thing, a Wolverine of sorts in this type of matter. Okay? When that which is typically brutal becomes common or second nature. You think of this thing with the way maybe a new soldier that may be talented in infantry versus a veteran that maybe has done like 4 or 5 tours. Okay, there's going to be a difference between the two individuals, even though one individual is very strong in skill. The other individual may have done those 5 tours based upon the fact of having a gift that may have a certain camaraderie towards a public need. They need me type of attribute to their character. You know what I'm saying? I can really contribute to this particular thing I do in particular. I may suck at cooking, and I may suck at drawing, and I may not be that great at math. But this thing here in particular, that this happens to be my song. You understand what I'm saying? So it's interesting because we have a line of commonality between individuals and society, in which in most cases the basis of an individual is common, and the 6 degrees of separation also. But then there is a certain point in time where each of us as individuals, being peculiar, break left. And when we break left at these point in times, it means that we break left from the common consensus of the individual, and we may have a certain talent, knack, or gift, and these have particular ranges as well. Okay, the beauty of a gift is a gift that came to me, that I asked of God, was something that I grew into without practicing, but the nature of my life has forced me to cry out and make these podcasts. And between these words, the more words that I share and spend with you, my communications get better and I get more intricate with it. You see what I'm saying? Where the upgrades, you can say, or the evolution of my communication is spawned from somewhere inside of me versus a external curriculum in which I study. You see what I'm saying? So this intrinsic function from the most intrinsic being, in which if you are to serve God, which is beyond the highest capacities of which an individual can aspire to be, because most of the time we relevate our concerns in a basis of measuring ourselves in comparison to somebody that is particularly great in the field. But measuring yourself in an unrealistic bounds based upon the ideation of perfection, as if Christ Jesus himself was doing a thing, as if to serve this Christ Jesus with your gifts or your talents. Someone that you may respect with the utmost, that you know is particularly an individual that doesn't deal with swank, but gets, the most caviar of things to be offered, is not something that you would just offer this individual your best even, but a thing you offer this individual something up until the point of breaking you past your plateaus of what would be considered or seen to be normal, and an urge that would almost seem to be as an obsession as well. This is the nuance or the ideation of being a particular creature that was created. You are new under the sun, but it's not something that particularly the sun sees based upon if you correlate sunlight with knowledge, meaning physicality or external. The way if somebody looks at you, you know what I'm saying, knowledge would see that you would seem to be particularly the same. They would not be able to pick up how you have advanced so much, okay, in quantum leaps, just in how you express yourself or how you conduct yourself. Although people do get better at their crafts, okay, this thing would be something different. This would be a thing in which you do in particular. Not as in a thing you particularly do, but in the commonality, as in the sense that I can dig a hole out of the ground. And I can be great at digging. But I can have the knowledge or the intelligence that, let's say I look next to me and I see a human being. But that human being has the spirit of a mole. Okay? And moles dig all through the ground and things like that. And I ask this person, I hand him the shovel and say, you think you know your way around a shovel? You think you could dig? That individual is just like, that's my song. This thing in particular, I do this thing. This is what I am. Okay, this is a new creature from the most intrinsic functions of an individual, meaning that though you may see a human being, there can be a spiritual creature in particular, just like different tools in a toolbox that is made for particular things. And this thing in particular, if you ask this creature to do this thing in particular, the creature knows how to do. And it's just so that in this moment of time, the heavens and the earth is marriage in something that is perfect. You see what I'm saying? Because the occasion in which this individual is honed has been asked in particular out of frustration if they can complete something that is impossible. that they would see as common. This is a creature of different sorts. Though I look human, if I was a particular thing, if you needed a locksmith and it was a particular lock, I am particularly that key, not the utensils to open the door. This is what separates talents from gifts, is what manner of being that you are. And this is a life that is detailed in certain types of sacrifices or obstructions or obstacles, in which forces the individual based on a basis of necessity, in which they have to become and find a reliance or dependence on a particular thing that they know 100%. This thing I do with my eyes open or closed. You see. And thinking of these things, I had a thought or an idea that in several moments in my life, I was inspired by lyrics. And one of my favorite MCs is LP, you know, and LP says a lot. He is able to convey concepts at a level that is so drastic in range that it would break the mind, all right, to begin to understand some of his lyrics. Like, take for instance, one of his short phrases in a lyric was de-evolve the crawl back in the ocean. Think about that. Talking about the evolution of mankind, how some of the earlier creatures in creation was marine life. And then there's mariners and mermaids, and how these entities that are serpents also, they exist on the earth, right? And they would be just as common in the city around individuals such as you or myself. You see, in that expression, de-evolve the crawl back in the ocean, he's expressed an entire history and brought to knowledge and awareness something that is so radically common that you may have overlooked, that maybe not everyone around you is the same. Some may be a creature of a certain instances that has certain knowledges, that knows things, that has DNA that is antediluvian, that links back to earlier ages and time. You see what I'm saying? There's a certain intelligence and knowledge that goes along with this, and what I'm saying is the ability for LP to be able to paint these things, considering his lyrics, and that is just a fragment of a bar. You see what I'm saying? That's not even the entire thing that he said during that. You see, and look at how much depth is just in that lyric. So much of society today and how MCs often narrate the things that they see happening around in the streets or what's going on in the world. You can find a lot of this consciousness in LP's rap that also has the rugged and rawness of hip hop with it. You see what I'm saying? And it would be dope to see a Run the Jewels post-apocalyptic movie where individuals are living in a dystopian town like maybe Elysium or something like that. And these brothers like, LP and Killer Mike, they may be working in a lab trying to find some come up and discover some new type of drug that brings conscious awareness amongst the age of Sardis or the age of death, where people are more bestial and maybe spiritually dead. And in this environment, maybe they test to sell these drugs in this, satirical documentary of two MCs on the come up that we would experience in today's time, in a future dystopian world that is like Elysium, kind of broken down, standing on the corner selling this new drug that causes awareness, okay, which causes people to be more creative and to see things, step back from the picture so you can see the whole picture. In many ways, MCs, for the black man are reporters, okay? But they're not only are they reporters, they're reporters in the sense that they have to report in a certain way that the details of their message is not obscured or infiltrated by outside forces. Okay, so it would be interesting to see a satire documentary musical of Run the Jewels about them coming up as a rap group, and there could be other artists in the film as well. You see what I'm saying? Where they handing out this like almost like a LSD or something like that causes creativity. Okay, and that causes individuals to be more conscious and aware of the power structure that is ruling over them, that causes them to live a certain type of way. This would be a timeless movie, even set in the future, that has common themes to show the cycles of man and how we don't change that much, but definitely how the fall of man, based upon especially living in a society that's pit against necessities for survival, would bring out the most rawest functions of mankind, in which we see the most drastic measures of mankind in the most carnal ways, okay, enacted in actions that pertain to business in the inner cities. And these rappers rap about their life and what they're going through and what's happening in their town and what have you. See what I'm saying? And LP has many lyrics and things of this nature, and Killer Mike is very conscious, in which they would very easily be able to express and put together social awareness in a type of film like this, and it would be a hit, because Run the Jewels is a hit band, and LP and Killer Mike, they're very great at painting pictures with their vivid lyrics. You know what I'm saying? But there's substance to the things that they're saying that pertains to awareness in your environment and things that are going on in the world around you. This would be a great movie. Now, I could say, though individuals can, rap, if you take your street level rapper and things like that, and they could be talented and they can have a gift. These would be the same that, tend to manifest, out the woodwork, maybe as like a Jay-Z or LP or a Killer Mike, that do these things as professionals. These are particular beasts. When you give LP a mic or Killer Mike, and you're like, hey, let's say you don't even know about them. You think you know your way around a microphone? You think you could MC a little bit? You know what I'm saying? And it's like they look at you like, I thought you never asked. This is my song. This is what I do in particular. You see what I'm saying? These are particular beasts that have a gift that, based upon their gift, this puts food on the table. This does actual, real, and tangible things in which they can apply. And which a story of, like, I made it, despite having nothing but my words. Okay? And we have many of these stories, and it fits into many different grooves. But like I said, though many people can rap, you're not gonna find another LP. He has his own style. You're not gonna find another Killer Mike. It's just, they are their own within that genre, as monks that maybe have mastered, their particular craft. This would make them as a particular beast or mastermind of their skill. Okay? And I believe that we in society should strive to be this, and this would bring us to a renaissance, because the skill would be a medium. Okay? And it should be a medium for bringing some form of conscious awareness to bless the minds of individuals that are listening, and give them something in which they can learn. You see what I'm saying? But anyways, this is what makes you as an individual, as a poet, when you branch off as an LP or a Killer Mike, to express yourself, staying true to yourself, and not succumbing to becoming the same as everybody else within the common basis. You see what I'm saying? There is a certain nuance to your character in which any individual you meet whether a friend or a love interest, would know that this particular thing, this is this individual in particular, and this redefines society with individuals being individuals again, like I felt was more so closer, we were closer to in the 90s. We have a nuance of it now, but the nuance of it now as if we are all entangled and high together, and that we cannot respect each other's differences or diversity and choices or ways of thinking. And this kills any ideation of a renaissance and heads us towards something closer to a dead age or a church age of Sardis. You see what I'm saying? But I say these things with love, you guys. I'm going to close this out here. Peace and blessings be with you all.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
I was...
Look again. Freeze it.
This isn't the Matrix.
No. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you are one of them.
What are they?
Sentient programs. They can move in and out of any software still hardwired to their system. That means that anyone we haven't unplugged is potentially an agent. Inside the Matrix, they are everyone, and they are no one. We have survived by hiding from them, by running from them. But they are the gatekeepers. They are guarding all the doors, they are holding all the keys, which means that sooner or later, someone is going to have to fight them.
Someone.
I won't lie to you, Neo. Every single man or woman who has stood their ground, everyone who has fought an agent has died. But where they have failed, you will succeed.
Why?
I've seen an agent punch through a concrete wall. Men have emptied entire clips at them and hit nothing but air. Yet their strength and their speed are still based in a world that is built on rules. Because of that, they will never be as strong or as fast as you can be.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?
No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
This a line for a line. If you sniff it raw, it may leave you blind for some time. Feel that drip inside, back of your throat, you'll be fine. Make you feel alive, nigga, you can flow. Watch the vibe, well alright, they call me nigga. Some like to call me king, I keep that crown inside my liver. That bag before my change, bitch, it's a jagged edge. She asked me what it's like, I let it sing. They said you young and wildin', bitch, I'm Patrick Riley. To the game, I break the chain from around my neck. You let them tell you anything about anything, pussy, pick a blade, it's the same. It's a shame how you ain't live it up. It's the small things, it's the simple stuff. Got scrapes on my knees, rolling sticker bugs. Lit as fuck, shit ain't always on a nigga mind. Shorty twerk, she say she like to throw that ass. You give her time, I got disappointed. Damn, I thought you was a 10, you just a bigger 9. But shit that still is fly, so still if I decide to snap my fucking fingers, it be just to spare my hand and fuck a golden glove. That shit can't beat a blam, nigga, damn. No time to run it high, can't duck the fire, let alone the fade. Won't see you late, just view your weight. Wishing you would wake up, no kind
consciousness of conversations. Your bitch told me the way I talk kick up a ovulation. These niggas message me like stop responding to my lady, but I know that pussy fire when she stay in the grandma basement. Nigga, I've been running miles to the finish, then fell a couple times off of tripping. Shit, I was so high I ain't even feel it. From the city where we villain raised, that bitch ain't bustin', she just look amazed. Hold this ain't gushers cause your label say it. You niggas puppies feeding off a titty of other niggas' opinion, wishing that we see the shit that you seeing. Always see the killer be killed, can't be a lesser demon. You seem to give a fuck too much, my nigga, that's your weakness. I keep Diablo in the cut, have motherfuckers screaming. This bitch gon' grind me with her butt, I hope she let me eat it. Crazy how I ain't turning up, I'm still on fucking defense. Can't wait to run a fucking muck on any nigga tweaking.
Yo, what up, YouTube? And because I forgot this in the podcast. Another reason you want to speak up, okay, and not be afraid to be yourself. Like I said, is for other individuals that may be ashamed of themselves and not really ashamed of themselves, but just kind of more so afraid to be themselves, okay, amongst others. When an individual is able to be themselves in an environment and host other individuals, and also when an individual speaks up, it causes other individuals to be comfortable and reflect on their life as well. But in doing these things, oftentimes when you speak up, then this will cause you to be alienated, and you have to be ready for the rest of the individuals, let's say within a classroom, so to speak, if you will, or office, will lean or take more of the side of that which is popular, even though you know that you are correct out of fear. You see what I'm saying? And they will know you're correct, but they'll take the side that is common. But it's never wrong, and it's nothing wrong with expressing yourself and explaining another way of particularly doing something, at least bringing it up in conversation. Individuals are concerned or worried to even do that. But, this is how, great things also happen, you know what I'm saying, in individuals' lives and how we grow as a nation, as a society, a civilization as well. And I just want to point that out, what comes with when you speak up for yourself, when you speak out, because these are spiritual things, oppressions that, while there may not be someone, pressing at your back, you can feel the oppression out of the common consensus in which individuals feel as if they're challenging authority, just as in asking a question or presenting something to a group. And the fact of the matter is, they're not. In many cases, we're depriving ourselves from growing and learning particular things. Okay, and oftentimes it is often welcome and merited, but also some individuals may feel like you're trying to one up them or something like that. You see, you're dealing with a certain mentality that may pertain to a certain immaturity, in which feels a certain type of way, and even that way could particularly be justified. You don't know what type of history that individual has. Most people don't look at your intentions when you say something. They just react to what you say, and more so in particular in order how you say something first. They react to that versus to what you say. But if you act within a spectrum, they react to what you say, but they don't pay attention to your intentions. So this causes us at times to jump the gun, all right, and get offended and feel like somebody's trying to step on our toes. Okay, this could particularly happen. This happens in all nature of the people. So when you're in a group, these are the things that come with it. But the more that you get used to handling these situations, it will make you a much better communicator in general. You'll make you a better communicator, and it's good to be that. It's good to be able to express yourself and express your ideas. And so that individuals know where you're coming from, and you build that frame for yourself, and you start to pick up a spiritual weight, and the words that you say start to have more meaning. In which, if you say something in comparison to if somebody else says something, there is a different weight to it, where it may seem as if it's more intense. Take for instance these podcasts. While it may seem like it's radical and I say a lot of wild things, the truth of the matter is when you go back and you really listen to it, it's really not that bad. It's definitely, it can fit within the confines of a rated R movie. You know what I'm saying? But we have this censorship on YouTube. And this is not me trying to point out YouTube and start any type of confrontational war with YouTube. But I'm just saying, it really isn't that bad. You see what I'm saying? Individuals watch movies all the time. One Spike Lee movie. You see what I'm saying? But there's a certain weight and gravity, especially when black men say something. Okay? There's a certain gravity. And natively, that goes back into the dynamic of just having that spiritual energy. It's going to cause individuals to attract to you. So when you present something new to an occasion, then all of the arguments, which it won't just be, from 3 different places, it'll be a radius of arguments. Okay, that'll all funnel in your direction, in which you need to be prepared to navigate and deal with, just based upon things such as doubt, immaturity, or individuals feeling offended. That when you go back through it and you talk to them, they begin to realize, well, that really wasn't that bad, and that just means that you have a certain spiritual weight or stop to the words that you say. You've grown spiritually because you know Christ is the word. And it comes to the point that when you say a thing, people know that you mean it. You don't have to constantly keep saying the same thing. People have an understanding. You see what I'm saying? This will save you, if you deal with it ahead of time, this will save you a lot of troubles in the future. And the main goal is to get to a point where you're existing and you don't have to give any types of disclaimers to anybody, because it'll be on your spiritual basis or understanding that when you say something, it will come off in the way that you intended. Okay? But this causes a marriage or a commitment. You have to be committed and stand on 10 toes to the words that you speak. Okay? It has to be backed by something real. That means you have to be a real individual. And most individuals, it doesn't mean that they're not real, but they're not ready to deal with that type of attention. Okay? As black men, we don't have a choice anyway, so I always speak up. Okay? You're gonna get shit no matter what. So stand up and say what you gotta say. Okay? Because people are still gonna feel how they wanna feel. You see what I'm saying? And in that case, you may be dealing with a particular type of spirit. And that spirit has enmity with you, not because necessarily the things you say. That spirit has enmity with you because that's the spirit that's going to have enmity with you, irregardless. The reason why I fought so much for these podcasts to be put here on YouTube is because I do believe that the internet is dead. And just as lights, when we go to certain parts of the internet or wherever we look, as Christian men are having the Spirit of God, I believe that these places animate or stay alive according to the internet. And this will correlate with AI as well. Okay? But in general, pertaining to comments, and even the comments you get can be bots. And I think that, this situation proves that it is a dead internet. I mean, based upon my comment section, and I'm gonna tell you guys this, I generally like comments and things like that. I generally really wouldn't fuck with it anyway. If I had too many people watching this channel, you guys, I'm sorry for cussing, I would delete the channel. I'm not for everybody. Not that I'm against everybody, but this information I'm addressing spiritual men or Christian men. All right, only real Christians. And I know that Jesus, had 12 disciples. So really, any more views than necessarily 12, and knowing that 12 individuals with 6 degrees of separation more than likely are not going to get or understand everything. I choose to speak spiritually because it doesn't matter if they get it or not. It's in there. The seed is planted of my intention of what I was saying. Okay? And sometimes when you hear these things, when you go back and listen to it, it'll spawn or aggregate thoughts that will cause you to meditate on certain things. These are spiritual things or fruits, like spiritual fruits. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, you want to do two things. You want to keep your voice, and the reason why I tax the algorithm with words, because communication is like, oh, that's my song. I can always say what I want to say, because I know how to say it. You see what I'm saying? The point is that if we don't start operating in a way that we find a common basis or median as a public society, it'll turn it Orwellian or 1984. So you want to be able to express yourself and say the things that you need to say. Okay? Within a common basis or a common ground of things, you could rate it in a comparison of a movie. This is, rated R. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not putting soft porn up on the internet or anything else like that. So, pertaining to YouTube, we're really talking about a structure in which we're coming into society, and society is being hived together, where your peculiarity or your individuality, if you're out there, you're gonna have to speak up or put something out there, or you should, so to speak, because as I explained, this is not my first lifetime. And the thing is with the dead internet theory, I perceive a theory in which that if I am able to upload these videos now, that does all sorts of the things, and some of what I'm doing is pushing back the algorithm because I'm fighting for Americans' right of free speech. Okay, in order to do that, so that I could comfortably communicate, so that we could comfortably communicate, I'm trying to desensitize or faint out the algorithm to the point where it just says, I'm exhausted, it's pointless. He says things, I know what he's saying, but he's not saying anything. You see what I'm saying? And because the fact of the matter is, maybe the bark is worse than the bite. You see what I'm saying? The bite pertains to the individual's knowledge. That's why I say you are the weapon. I say the things that I say, and then based on how you respond, if you're not aware of yourself or aware of how you're responding, right? This is just like doing coding in a computer. I'm looking all inside your brain, right? Because you don't understand exactly why you're acting this way. This is why it's good to be an individual who keeps themselves under a certain moderation of control and not get too angry, because your thoughts and your centeredness and the way you think, that'll be the first thing to go. Okay? But at the same time, uploading these on the internet and this not being my first lifetime, that the next time that this whole event or earth goes around, okay, through the different ages, then it may be possible that in order for the internet to facilitate a particular space that is niche, it will know that it has already checked my videos and will re-upload these videos as if for it to appear, okay, as if I was currently uploading videos, okay? And it's no way for me to prove this to you, because we grow at different rates and at different times. At some point, somebody's going to be conscious and going through the badlands or the dry zone. And what I mean by the dry zone is basically when you're to a degree when I describe exiting Earth. Okay, you'll notice it because society will start to act different, and it'll seem that everything is going backwards from you, in contradiction to you. This is no different than Neo following Morpheus down that busy street, and everybody was bumping into his shoulders because it was as if he was a ghost and his existence was not acknowledged. Everybody else is in the rigmarole of the hive mind, and their mind is so confined within a cubicle of worries and concerns and thinking, as if they have been acupunctured in the basis of their anxieties. that they have not a moment of themselves to reflect upon themselves, that they become a node on the computer. This is no different than Matrix, or maybe the film Equilibrium. Okay? And you don't want to become a node on the computer based on being bond with the rest of society. And you want to be able to express yourself, because if you can't, that's your rights that it's going to go. Okay? So, what I'm saying is, since my videos, they get checked and they get uploaded now, that it may be in particular, that even, you know what I'm saying, the next life cycle around, okay, which I can even give you today's date, and I can tell you that the year is 2024, but it'll be 2024 again in another lifetime. I know how the same people, and it keeps going round and round until you grow or come into remembrance, and you get delivered by Christ, because you will outgrow your container. Your reality, your roots will sprout from that seeds that are planted in you, and you'll get too big for the pot. So you'll have to, you know what I'm saying, be replanted into a different soil. And during this time, all sorts of things will change around you. Okay? It is as if a door opened into your dimension, and you are in a matrix, so to speak, an embryonic bag, and you're reforming as if you're being reborn for a moment in time in separation. The reason why things are contradictory and they didn't notice Neo's existence as he was walking backwards is it would represent that he was no longer a part of the dead, but he was becoming conscious and becoming living. And as he started to do things differently, it went completely against the entire structure or will or nature of society. Okay? So that leads you into a legionnaire dynamic, or like Christ. You know, France has the legionnaire, where they can suitcase and learn all sorts of the matter, and they have to stake out and figure out their own tactics and things of this nature by being planted in. This is the same thing for a spiritual man. Okay? You know, it was the same thing for Christ, and this is what he's saying. You know, you don't know the time or season as other individuals, so a lot of this walk that you have to engage on, if you're going to grow spiritually, you will find that you're alone, because not everybody's going to be able to grow the same time you can. So even if nobody is listening to my videos, right, then I upload these videos, you know what I'm saying, to you, and you know, the next time this life goes around, or whatever, because I'm not going to be, I'm heading out. Then the next life or whatever, individuals, okay, that happen to be in the conscious community or something like that, my videos will be up there, and they won't be bored. There'll be tons of crazy content of a crazy dude saying crazy things, cracking jokes, that they'll be able to get some substance or something conscious from, but at the same time be able to reflect and think about different things through this waiting period. Okay, so this, you know what I'm saying, this is my gift for those who go, you know, follow Christ in the way. You see what I'm saying? To let you know that you're not going crazy, and you're not alone. And I wanted to leave these videos out here that, yeah, there might be someone out there that can relate to you, that will actually say the crazy things that you're experiencing, because I understand what it's like. This is as a rebirth, you know. The other reason why everybody's walking contrary to Neo is because when you think of life and death, you think of a reflection. And reflections pertain to when you look into a mirror, it's the exact image you see, except the image you see reflected in the mirror is exactly backwards, right? That's why when you raise your right hand, and look at yourself in the mirror, your left hand is raised in the mirror. So it wouldn't be the same hand. Your reflection wouldn't have, you know, if it was perfect, it wouldn't have this, it wouldn't have the same hand on the same side being held up. Your right hand in the mirror would be held up, which means you would be holding up opposite hands. You see what I'm saying? To the eye, it would visually look like you're raising up opposite hands. So this is a correlation or a reflection pertaining to life and death, and that is That's a perfect depiction. All right. So I say these things with love. You know, if any of you guys out there, don't be afraid to speak up, and hopefully I push the meter enough where you don't have to feel crazy for the type of thing you say, because you know, OG ghostLore, I say a bunch of crazy things. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell them, if I didn't see crazy things, I wouldn't say crazy things. How could I think of them? But you say that these things you hear are schizophrenic, so it only confirms my sanity. You understand what I'm saying? So I say these things with love. Never be afraid to express yourself, and always fight for your freedom of speech, because if you don't have a voice, you don't have power. I mean, guns do have a great bit of range, but it's not the same as an individual's voice. You have to have your voice. All right? Fight for your voice. You got to have it. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out.